Quantum leaping is about growing out of an old identity, a stale identity, into something new. And that's what Saturn asks of us. It's like, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome to Co-Journal, our sacred container and cosmic playground for everything, quite literally everything. Today, I want to start something I call morning musings. It'll be about what, 10 minutes of just rambling. That's what it's going to be. And without further ado, I'm going to ramble about my Saturn return. Let me get a little, that'll be a long one. Okay, Saturn and Aries people, what's up? What's happening? When our Saturn returns, I'm in my first one. Shout out to you if you're in your second one, your third one. Saturn is not easy. Okay, Saturn's not your friend. But entering this period of my life, I feel renewed. And that's a gift we don't talk about often when it comes to Saturn. It's always harsh planet, the lord of karma, whip, whip, whip. And yeah, it is tough love, but the kind that is so expansive. The kind that is so expansive. I think Saturn should be up there with Jupiter when it comes to rep because there's an expansion in growth, and that's what I'm feeling right now. And it hasn't been easy. I think the period preceding my Saturn return was harder rather than my Saturn return. Right now, I feel a sense of renewal. And I guess it's the feeling when you evolve, because that's what Saturn asks of us. Like, you've got to grow up, you've got to evolve. You're not a kid anymore, right? You're in your late 20s, your early 30s, if you're in your first one. So, yeah, you're an adult, and grow up. Are you going to stay the same person you've been all this time and fall prey to your conditioning? Because, that's what happens in childhood. Or are you going to grow? Are you going to have the guts to discover yourself, to learn yourself, to return to yourself? Are you going to do that? So I want to reframe Saturn Returns as this period of austerity and toughness. And yeah, there's a lot of, intensity and density that comes with growing up with expansion. But there are also rewards that come with it. And I want to call this not a Saturn return, but a Saturn reward, where if you commit, if you persist, if you dare to wait, Saturn kids will tell you, I'm an Aquarius, so Saturn is like, what is that, my traditional ruler? And Uranus is like my something other ruler. Yeah, anyway. There was a point in time where Saturn ruled both Capricorn and Aquarius. They're astrological terms for it. I do not know them. I have a very basic understanding of astrology. So Saturn kids, with very prominent Saturn placements, will tell you like it's not a joke. It's not a joke. Your relationship with time, your relationship to time is just, it's really something. And I find that when you start settling into yourself, because Saturn's going to allow that. I promise you, Saturn is going to allow you to settle into yourself. And when you do, it's softness all around. And that's why I've been speaking about softness and preaching softness. And, because it's softness all around, you learn. Saturn is a planet of education. You learn the lesson, you evolve by learning the lesson. It's the Lord of karma because the only way to close out a karmic cycle is to evolve, is to grow, is to what we like to call quantum leaping. And I'm so glad we're talking about quantum leaping instead of manifestation. Because the thing with manifestation is, well, it's about getting what you want. Quantum leaping is about growing out of an old identity, a stale identity, into something new. And that's what Saturn asks of us. It's like, The only way you're going to get this is if you grow out of those patterns, out of those stories that don't serve you anymore. So, which one is it going to be? Is it going to be the past? Is it going to be the future? Are you determining yourself on your own terms or on the terms that have been stipulated by external forces, which include your family, society, friends, your primary environment? Like, Saturn's like, who you going to be, boo? Like, it's not tough love, it's just life. That which doesn't grow, what happens? What do we do with it? And so the dance with Saturn starts here, right? It starts here where you're like, okay, cool. I recognize that there's certain things that don't work for me, that don't work on me, that don't look good on me. And I want to do something about that. I care enough about myself to do something about that. That's why it's called tough love. Sometimes you have to care about yourself enough to show up and show out of who you once were into, something new. And I love it here. I love that I get to experience a Saturn return at a time when a lot of changes are occurring cosmically. I mean, outer planets have, been making their way into masculine signs. Saturn is also in a masculine sign. And it just feels like a rebirth altogether. It's a rebirth altogether. And I think this can be a Saturn reward, season for all of us in this moment. And I think in general, even if you're not in your Saturn return, the air right now is just change, 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 transform, shock yourself into new beings, into a new person. It's not about getting what you want. It's not just about manifesting the reality. It's about becoming the person who can hold the reality, who has earned their way into that reality. And yeah, I said it. Yeah, said it. We have got to earn this thing. We've got to earn our softness. We've got to earn our crowns. We've got to earn our thrones. We've got to earn our entry into paradise. This is not for free. It's not just about getting what you want and then, well, yeah. What have you had to let go? What have you had to give up? What have you had to sacrifice? How have you had to change? It's about changing. It's about the courage, the goal to change. It's always been about that. And that's why Saturn's here. That's why Saturn is called a planet of tough love. And this is not tough love, it's just love. It's just love. So there you have it. Those are my morning musings, my ramblings about being at a time in my life or in a time. Those are my ramblings about being in uncertainty. A lot of this is uncertain. I mean, oh, honey, I do not know what I'm doing. Yeah, I can tell you that for free. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know there is so much space for me and so much room for me to become what I truly am. Saturn says, become that which you truly are, not that which you've been taught to be, but become and be conscious of what it is that you truly are. And I've had to make massive sacrifices. Like I left a thriving career. I just left it like right in the middle of things. I could be earning so much more right now. I could be living good, but I chose novelty. I chose newness. And I can tell you, like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. And what this period is teaching me is I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I don't know who I am, but I'm open. I'm curious. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic about encountering that person and what they come with and who they are and how they move about, in the world. That is of more value to me than what is, seemingly successful, ostensibly successful, but really leaves me feeling hollow. And for the longest time, I felt like I could not connect to a very deep and profound part of me. And making those changes and making those decisions radically, abruptly so, has landed me in a space where, yeah, I get to reinvent myself. I get to be a new person. I get to play, I get to soften the if that's what it takes, if loss is what it takes, if death is what it takes. Now we're bringing in some Scorpio energy, some Pluto energy. If that's what it takes, then so be it. I will change and I will grow and I will blossom and it will be divine. It will be grand. It will be a moment. But I'm not staying a version my but I'm not staying a version of myself out of comfort and what? Comfort and fear and conditioning. Like, there is so much more to me, I have decided, than I know. And right now, it's about discovery, it's about entering those places in me. I couldn't be bothered by who I was, what I valued. A person has had their time, they lived their life, they were loved in a way that suited them. That doesn't work for me anymore. That doesn't work for me anymore. And it's a tough thing to say, right? I understand these things on a very profound level, so I'm able to speak about them like loosely, but I know what it's like when you're in those, moments and you're intimate with yourself and you're confronting what you have been, who you have been, and there are moments that beckon you forth and say, yes, this is still available to you, but it's not, and it's not. You can sense that. And so I just like to be efficient and make it about where we're headed, what actually works. The uncertainty is working because it's allowing me to play. It's allowing me to relax. I don't get to be the one in control anymore. I don't get to be the one deciding where I go. I get to be the one who pours into myself. I get to be the one who's radiant and glowing and beautiful. I get to be the one who's resting. I get to be the one who's creating. I get to be the one who's moving in alignment. I get to be the one who walks in purpose and not in productivity. Purpose says I'm worthy, so things will unfold when they have to unfold for me. Productivity says I've got to prove my worth. And again, there's a difference between earning your way into softness through sacrificing the things that don't serve you and proving yourself in life, constantly feeling the need to prove yourself. That's not what we're trying to do here. That is not what we're trying to do here. So you may or may not be in your Saturn return. Who are you now? Who you're gonna be on your own terms? Self definition. Yeah, self identity, self concept, self consciousness. Like, you get to be aware of yourself now and make changes that support you and where you're going. Changes that affirm that you're supported, provided for, taken care of. They say you get to be soft, right? You get to be in your robe and in your gold earrings. And you get to have a nice cup of lemon and honey, water. Like, this is what life gets to be. But can you be the kind of person who can hold that instead of moving around, worrying, panicking all the time? Can you be the kind of person who relaxes? Because a relaxed life is looking for a relaxed person, baby. A soft life is looking for a soft person. And I just happen to be at a point in time when everything calls for softness, including this Saturn reward. Okay, I've actually said my piece. I'm not joking. I'm going now. But yeah, thank you so much for being here with me. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Please share all your beauty, all your energy. Let's talk about evolution. It's not just a Saturnian tenet, but it's life itself. Let's talk about it in the comments, and I will see you next time on Co Journal.